away from this business, this shit, it beats you up, man. It beats your spirit up, your soul up, to the point where you at times think about quitting. Maybe you feel
Mhm.
suicidal. This kills you, man. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Mick Unplugged. And today we got one of my top five, dead or alive. From stepping on the stage at just 14 to redefining sketch comedy on MadTV, this man didn't just chase the spotlight, he commanded it. He's a comedic powerhouse who's mastered impressions, tackled Hollywood, and has kept audiences laughing for decades. Please give my guy a huge round of applause and welcome the bold, the unfiltered, the relentless Mr. Aries Spears. Aries, how you doing today, brother?
What's up, brother?
Man, I told you offline, I'm honored to have you on. You are literally one of my favorite stand-ups in the world. Just honor you took time out of your busy schedule to be here, bro.
Oh no, man. Thank you for being somewhat forgiving, because I know we were supposed to start this at 2 o'clock, but I was actually coming from doing another podcast by comedian Harlan Williams. So that LA traffic is a monster. So I just got caught with a little bit of that traffic, but I'm here now. So thank you.
I appreciate it, man. You know, on Mick Unplugged, I always like to ask my greats, my favorites, my legends, what their because is, that thing that's deeper than your why, that thing that really is your purpose, that fuel. And you've been doing this, man, since 14. Today in 2025, what's Aries Spears because? What's that thing that's driving you, bro?
Because I still feel like I haven't arrived,
Mm.
in terms of where have always seen myself, and in terms of what I've always wanted. I'm not there yet. So I still desperately and very badly want to reach that level.
Mm. Well, I I don't know about what you think, but bro, I think you're there, man. Like I said, you are literally. I know a lot of people have seen Aries. I've seen Aries over 20 times. It's always a different set. And I don't think people understand that, man. Like in stand up, it's real easy to have like your routine and just some cats, as you know, we're not going to name names. They run that for 10 years and like you go see them once, you don't have to see them again. With Aries, you get a new experience, bro, every freaking time. How do you do that, dude?
Well, I think a huge testament to that is, my crowd work. You know,
Yep.
I almost liken it to being a quarterback on a football team. Yeah, you got your playbook, a la your material, but every now and then you got to be able to call a quarterback. Recognize the blitz and call an audible. You know what I'm saying? So, and that to me is like being able to do crowd work. So I like the spontaneity of it. Um, it always makes the crowd feel like they're involved, and it's just for me, it's a much more fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell all my buddies, man, like every time I go see Aries, I know you're a sports guy too. It's like it's game 7 for you every set, right? And it's like game 7, 2 seconds left. Aries wants the ball every damn time, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anybody that know me and listen to my podcast and follow me on social media know that I'm a Michael Jordan fanatic. So, like Jordan, yeah, give me the ball. I want the game winning shot. I want to be able to, pump my fist in the air, victory. And I want to be the man.
Yep. And you do it every time, man. And you talk about crowd work. I always try to sit up front. I know you're gonna get me. I know you're gonna get my wife. You know, the last time we were there, you told my wife her name is Marcy for all the viewers and listeners. You said, Marcy, you're as white as uncut cocaine. And I literally spit out everything I had in my system at that moment, bro. Like your crowd work is unreal, dude.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And that was something very early in my beginnings that I was intimidated by, because you're basically on a wire with no safety net. Um, and not everybody could do that well, but I said to myself, if you're going to be a complete comedian, you need to have all the facets of your game on point. It's like, again, the Jordan reference. There was no weaknesses in Mike. like to do it all. So I was like, I know I could do the impressions. I'm pretty quick. I'm pretty savvy. I know, I could talk about relationships and pop culture and whatever. Even get a little political, even though I don't think that's my thing.
Mhm.
But I wanted to be able to go, yo, I just don't understand how you can be a comedian and not implement that into your skill set because it's such a strong tool to have to showcase to show people how quick you are.
Yeah.
So I take pride in that, and I studied, DL Hewley and Joe Torre, who were two
Yeah.
vicious when it came time to chew somebody's ass up. So
Yep.
I just kind of always wanted that in my repertoire, and I liken a lot of what we do to sports, because I think there's certain similarities. And I always say, I look at it like football. It's like you could be a Hall of Fame championship quarterback, a la Brett Favre, a la Peyton Manning, and stay in the pocket, which is your material. Or you can Michael Vick it and be able to scramble for the first down, which is going off the dome. And don't get me wrong, you don't have to be able to go off the dome to be a great, Hall of Fame championship quarterback. And those guys never Michael Vick it. They stayed in the pocket, and they're two of the
Yep.
best. Tom Brady, probably the GOAT. But I just felt like, if you're gonna be deadly, why not be twice as deadly instead of being, singularly deadly? You know what I
Yep.
mean? So that I just wanted to be able to do both.
Nah, I love that, dude. And I've always wanted to ask you this question because, Aries also is never going to hold back, right? And every time I see you, and it never fails, there's always someone who pays their money to go to a comedy show, but sits up like they don't want to be there, right? And like I do public speaking, and I see it a lot too. Like you spent your money, why are you making the comedian work hard? But Aries will call you out, man. Like, why do people do you understand why people do that, bro?
Listen, I just when you say, one person, I'm retired from performing in the city of Cleveland because that whole city does that. And listen, I did a radio show to promote my performance in Columbus, Ohio, which out of all the Ohio's, Toledo, Columbus, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Dayton, Columbus is my favorite. But I didn't know that the radio station I was doing, the airwaves reached out to Cleveland. So I
Mm.
took the dump on that city so bad, I was getting death threats from Clevelanders. People hitting me up in my social media. Man, you come back to Cleveland, we're going to pull up. And I said, pull up because I'm done. I'm done with the city of Cleveland. There's something so miserable about that city. That Cleveland is America's rectum. It's just a horrible experience. And listen, I'm not even saying you got to give me anything because I don't mind earning what I need to get.
Right.
But to just sit there with just two things: one, a state of misery and heaviness, and two, listen, man, I think, and I don't think this is just relegated to Cleveland. I think there's a mentality and an attitude that exists within the culture and the community, and people that grow up in the hood, ghetto, street, not saying all of them, but a lot of them come with a mentality where, quite frankly, you're just not open enough, savvy enough, and intelligent enough to get what I'm serving. You
Yeah.
playing checkers, I'm playing chess. And
Yep.
some people mentally, they just don't have, they're not equipped to follow what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
above them. And again, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to make that sound like I'm better than anybody, but I'm better than some people.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So between the level of intelligence or lack thereof and the misery and the attitude, man, I'm over it. I've been doing this 36 years. I've been down those waters. I've
Yeah.
swam in them waters. That's
Yeah.
that's how most of the clubs that I did starting out in Jersey and New York, whether it's Newark, Long Island, Queens, was them rough clubs. So I've earned them stripes. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to do that if I don't have to.
Yep. Bro, it baffles me to this day. Like I see it all the time. People just sit there. It's like typically it's usually a Thursday night sometimes, but mainly Friday night, Saturday night. Like it's the weekend, right? And you're getting to freaking see Aries Spears. Like why would you just go in there all right, I'm here. It baffles me to this day, bro.
No, it's crazy. And you know, if any people from Cleveland see this or hear this, you know, I'm not saying y'all not a good people because I've met some great people in Cleveland, uh, but comedically, it just there's a heaviness, man, where it's like you know the difference between some people coming and going, yeah, make me laugh because I want to laugh, versus yeah, show me what you got. I mean, it's like, come on, man, come on,
Yep.
man,
Yep. So that's a challenge to my guy Andrew Ryan, who is actually in Cleveland. You got to do better, bro.
come on, man. And what's crazy, the part that kills me is the responses are so cliche. They're so unoriginal. What I
Yeah.
get is, well, you just ain't funny. Tell better jokes. You just ain't funny. Listen, I've been coming to Cleveland and taking money out of there in terms of working there for almost 20 years. Why do you think that is? Because I'm not funny. I do 5 sold out shows, add 3 more, and they sell out. Why do you think that is? Because I'm not funny. I go there and I make 50K for the weekend. Why do you think that is? Because I'm not funny. Come
Right.
on, man. That is the most unoriginal shit I've heard. It's almost like when people insult you, they either turn into women or children. You
Yep.
know, they either say, you know, like a child would say to another child, well, no, you're a poopy head. Or like a woman who goes, after 10 years of being in a relationship, now I'm telling you I don't want to be with you no more. Oh, that's why you got a little dick and you can't fuck. You was with me for 10 years. Make that make sense. Math ain't mathing. And listen, if I perform all over the country, let's say I'm just throwing a number out there, I do 20 cities. And in 19 of them, same material, same amount of energy and passion, and I'm killing 19 out of the 20. And Cleveland is city number 20. You mean to tell me I'm going to let you guys be the testament to my greatness when you've been outruled by 19 other cities? Nah, it ain't me. It's you. Get your shit together.
Yep. I love it. I love it. So you've said it. You started early on, man, 36 years in the game strong, which is a testament to you. Like when I tell people about receipts, being a stand-up comedian, 36 years are all the receipts that you ever need right there, man. Like what made Aries Spears say, not just I'm gonna get in the comedy game, but I'm gonna dominate? Because at 14, most people haven't figured that part out yet.
Well, you know, I grew up an '80s baby. You know, I'm built '80s tough. You know, and I came up at that time where you know, prior to Eddie Murphy, you know, I was born in '75. So, like, you know, I always said Hollywood only really allowed one funny black man per decade.
Yep.
You know, you had Dick Gregory in the '60s, Richard Pryor dominated the '70s, Eddie Murphy the '80s, and then by the '90s you had the explosion of Def Jam, which introduced mainstream America to more than just one funny black person.
Right.
But for the '80s, you know, Eddie Murphy was my guy. So you know, it was appointment television every Saturday at 11:30 for me and my father to watch Eddie Murphy. And then when I saw 48 Hours and Trading Places, I was hooked. I said, that's what I want to do. And then, you know, I eventually found out, you know, he and I share the same birthday, April 3rd. We both zodiac signs, Aries. So I just took all that as motivation to really want to do this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I knew I wasn't equipped to do anything else. You know, I knew school at an early age, other than basic arithmetic and reading and writing. Most of that is bullshit that's useless in life, you know. And I knew that early. So I was like, you know what? I'm passionate about comedy. I enjoy making my peers and my family laugh. And you know, I just, you know, when I went on stage for the first time at 14, 15, I just, you know, granted, I wasn't nearly as seasoned as I am now.
Yeah.
Can't be. But to be that young and have that kind of an impact, I just kind of felt like, you know what, something special is happening here. So that was the dream, and I pursued it. And I gotta take my hat off to my mother, because if it wasn't for her, she really instilled the confidence in me to do it. Because my mother's a jazz and blues singer, and
Yeah.
she used to sing open with the jazz great Lionel Hampton, and she once performed at the White House for Reagan. So she was always like my Catherine Jackson to my Michael, and she just really pushed me and believed in me and instilled that confidence in me. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
I love that, dude. At 14, did you have mentors? Eh,
No,
and it no?
no, because coming up, I couldn't hang out with the other comedians because I'm a teenager.
Mhm.
They're grown. They in establishments that serve alcohol. So I was never allowed to be a part of that. My mother would bring me in. Whatever green room they had for me to wait in, I would wait in, do my set, and then after that, head back to the crib. No hanging out, no nothing. Because basically, I was the Spider-Man of the comedians. You know what I mean? I had
Mm.
school the next day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So while Thor and Captain America and Hulk and Iron Man is out partying, I had algebra tomorrow. So I was Peter Parker.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. So, one of the things another question I always wanted to ask you was this: the dark side of comedy, right? Like your job is to make people laugh. And I say job, I don't mean it as a job, but you're great at making people laugh. But I know like Dion Cole, a good friend of mine, all the time, man, like you don't walk on stage and everything is going perfect in your world, but you still gotta make people laugh because that's how you get paid.
I thought that was brilliant when he did that. When he
Yeah.
when he when he did that, he pointed that out. I almost wanted to wake my girl up and be like, "Bitch, listen to this right here.
Yeah.
You need to appreciate it. It's such a, and it's weird because it's like the people that you wish would show you love and adulation and praise are the people that don't,
Yeah.
meaning your family.
Yeah.
And the people that love you and praise you, sometimes more than family, often more than family, are strangers.
Mhm.
So it's crazy that the appreciation that you seek from your loved ones, your kinfolk, they almost take you for granted and don't see you as that because they know you as before that. But the
Yeah.
people that really appreciate you are the people that aren't associated to you by blood. And when he said that, it was like, man, you need that because away from this business, this shit, it beats you up, man. It beats your spirit up, your soul up, to the point where you at times think about quitting. Maybe you feel
Mhm.
suicidal. This kills you, man. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy.
And for those that don't know, right? Like talk through that a little bit. Like, what does an Aries Spears? I'm not saying you personally, right? But like, what does an Aries Spears go through that people don't realize? Like, I get the grind, right? Like, you're every weekend you're out, you come home for a couple of days, and it's like tomorrow you right back out again, right? Like being able to develop relationships, friendships, like it's people, the things that we do as normal people, right? Take it totally for granted, man.
Yeah, I mean, being the sole breadwinner, being the main source of everybody financially, being responsible for people, buying my ass adults, not
Mm.
not not being able to say no when you know you should, feeling like you're being taken advantage of, you underappreciated, um, dealing with the politics of show business, the racism of show business. They like to coin this term in Hollywood amongst black entertainers. Like there's Hollywood and then there's black Hollywood.
Yeah.
But the truth is sometimes black Hollywood do you dirtier than white Hollywood. Black Hollywood don't support you sometimes the way they should, like white Hollywood. And they smart enough getting white Hollywood to treat you right. And to
Yeah.
find out that your own do you worse aren't it supported? It's that's what I'm telling you, man. This game is it's an evil game, man. But you stay in it Because,
Yeah.
one thing can change your life around forever. Whether it's a viral video, a commercial, a TV series, a movie, you are always one thing away from making $2 million an episode.
Mm,
So,
mm.
when you know those are the kind of numbers you're playing with, yeah, you take the abuse.
You put
Chris
up
Rock,
with it.
Chris Rock said it best. He was like, Hollywood is like an uncle that molested you but put you through college.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember that. Yep. Crazy.
it's so
Crazy.
bittersweet. It's so bittersweet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So you are the king of impersonation, right? Like I will say no one has an impersonation portfolio like Aries Spears, right? Because you
I
you
think that
do them
might
all.
I think that might have been true at one time. I think the guy that kind of, if you can even, if you want to brand somebody with a title, which I guess to some degree is pretty useless because it's all subjective.
Yeah.
But if you were to brand somebody with that title, I would give that to Jay Farrow.
That- I,
Jay does so many, and it seems like he's constantly coming up with new ones. So
yeah.
I would give that to Jay Farrow. My only thing is this: I just never wanted to be known for just that. And and I,
Correct.
and I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but I think there are guys in this game who do great impressions, phenomenal, but aren't the best comedians. And then there are guys who are phenomenal comedians who do impressions, but the impressions, they are. I always wanted to be like Eddie Murphy and be able to marry the two perfectly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, doing impressions is like being in the NBA as a basketball player and dunking. I can dunk anytime I want.
Yep.
I want you to know that I can play defense. I can grab boards. I can pass. I got high basketball IQ. So to me, the first important part is the stand up, is the material,
Yep.
is the wit, is
Yep.
the sharpness, is the quickness, the improv. Uh, the impressions part is easy.
But that's why I think you are the GOAT though, right? That's why because you can go, I don't want to say character to character. You can go impersonation to real to back to an impersonation all in your set because I see it all the time, right? Where I think some people, to your point, just live in the impersonation. And if you took that away from them, they can't go on stage and rock a crowd for an hour, right?
Right.
That's why I say you are the king, you are the GOAT, you are the OG, because I see it in everything you do, bro. So don't give that away. That's you.
That again, that's
It's
that's
subjective,
no, no,
but it's
no,
my subjection.
no doubt. But that's what I'm saying. Like when I say I study Eddie Murphy, like that to me is what makes him like Richard Pryor is like the Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
but Eddie Murphy's like you know I don't want to give that I don't want to give Pryor Babe Ruth. It's almost like Eddie Murphy is Michael Jordan and Richard Pryor's Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? He got more chips, but in terms of totality, and that's why when I get into GOAT arguments with people, people go, well, if it's about rings, Bill Russell, he got 11. If it's about rings, Robert Ory, he got 7. No, it's about totality. When
Yep.
you talk about GOAT gumbo, the recipe to GOAT gumbo is more than rings. It's everything. It encompasses rings, popularity, impact on the game,
Yep.
stats. It's athleticism. It's all of it. And Eddie
Yep.
Murphy, to me, had all of it. He killed on every level: TV, SNL, stand up,
Yep.
Delirious to Raw. Even though I wish he had more stand ups. Um, Movies, of course, the billions of dollars he made, Paramount. You know, uh, yeah, Eddie's just complete, man.
Don't disagree. Don't disagree. So, what do you think is the evolution of comedy now? Right? Because to me, again, these are the words of Mick and Mick only. funny ain't as funny as it used to be to me anymore, right? Like I still have the people that I just love going to see because I know they're funny, you being one of them, right? Like I think you and DL are in a class that's different than most people. But where do you see the evolution of comedy going?
I think it's gonna go back to what it once was. Because of political correctness and wokeness and the whole moisture movement, the comedy cocaine got diluted. You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
baking soda stepped on, and a lot of people scared to take risks because of cancer culture. Um, I've never cut my comedy cocaine. I've always kept it 100% Bolivia Yayo. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And part of that is because one, I never feared cancel culture because I think Hollywood kind of closed its doors to me and wrote me off a long time ago. So how can you cancel what Hollywood to a degree has already canceled? And the only thing I can do from this point is figure out how to become the rose in the concrete and rise up. Yeah, they've shut their doors to me, but whether I get around it, get over it, get under it, I might not be able to get through it, but there is a way.
yeah.
And so, and maybe to some degree, while I might not would like that to be the case, I'm kind of glad it is the case because I don't know that I would have been happy with myself if I would have sold out or diluted my product for the sake of trying to appease
Yep.
feelings. You know, there's nothing better than having that laugh you feel like you're not supposed to have, that
Mm,
sticker that you feel you gotta hide because
mm,
you know what's funny. We know what's innately funny,
yep.
instinctively funny, and to somehow shield yourself from that because society has told you that's wrong. When you're in a place where its sole purpose is for that.
Right.
That's like
Right.
I don't go to strip clubs where I see girls with pasties on. Like what are we doing here? You either show me your titty or you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to see the
Right.
areola. I want to see the size and the thickness and the length of the nipple. I want to see it all. That's why we in a strip club.
Right.
Don't put pasties on my jokes.
I love it, bro. So, what do you hope your contributions to comedy and entertainment will be moving forward? So, if we were to say the legacy, the impact of Aries Spears, like what would you want that to be? What do you want everybody to say 20 years from now?
Well, it has yet to be written, so I don't know that I fully know. But based on what they say now, I'd like to believe that that gets better. Like I almost cringe a little bit when people say, "Call me goat." Yo, man, you one of the goats, so you use the word legend because that to me is Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby, Red Fox, the dudes who are on the Mount Olympus looking down on us. you know, and I don't think my body of work has been strong enough or extensive enough to warrant that title. Now, if that's how you feel and that you want to give me that, okay, but I would never give myself that
Of
ever.
course. Of course. But here's what I will tell you, and I want you to feel this and hear this, man. Like my kids who are early 20s, right? Like, yeah, they've seen some Eddie stuff, right? Like they got to sit with me to go watch Pryor stuff, right? Because they're just not naturally going to go search Richard Pryor. My three kids, you are that to them. Like you are to them what a Pryor and a Red Fox who, I got to know Red Fox through Sanford and Son, and then I had to go find out how great Red Fox was in stand-up after the fact, right? Like you are that to my kids. They will tell you that. My sister, who's 4 years younger than me, right? Loves her some Aries Spears. Like meaning like you are like MadTV to her was what SNL was like for me growing up, right? Like she will always go back to that. So, bro, I need you to feel that, man. Like you just got to understand everybody can't go to where you and I were from a database of history and comedy. So you are that benchmark to a lot of people, bro.
Well, that's why I say, man, sometimes when the ego needs to be fed, y'all do a better job of feeding me than the people who are supposed to.
Hey, well, as a guy that looks up to you, that respects you like none other, I just need you to know that, bro. Like,
I appreciate it, brother.
cringeworthy, cool, but just know that to millions of people, you are that.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
You got it. So, what's new coming up with Aries Spears, man? Where do you want people to follow and find you? I'll make sure we have all the descriptions in the show notes.
Got the podcast Spears and Steinberg, which is, got like 600 something episodes. And this is very important. I tell people, listen, man, start from the beginning. I know it's a lot, but binge it. It's worth it. It's like masturbation and potato chips. Once you start to pay, stop. And plus, if you do it that way, you get to follow the evolution of the show from how we started to where we end up, the characters that you'll get to fall in love with, the callbacks, the jokes. And we didn't get on YouTube until 2 years after we had started. So all the first couple hundred episodes aren't even available on YouTube. So I stress to people to really listen to it on the streaming platforms, then watch it. But if you do go watch it, it's on YouTube at Spearsburg Pod. Please hit like and subscribe. Or you can slide into my Instagram and my DMs, and I'll send you the links. Chop it up with you. Spears and Steinberg is the name of the podcast.
And it is one of my favorite ones. Like, I don't even have a favorite episode because they all are bangers. And you're right, like binging them is amazing. I even go back and listen to several of them. The one with you and Godfrey doing Soprano and Jason, like, bro, like that one, I can literally listen to that one every night before I go to bed. Like, that's how I get it, bro.
And Godfrey is one of my soldiers in comedy, man. That's another brother that I know that because of his stance on race and his honesty about racism and white America, much like me, and he doesn't hold his tongue, he is not where he should be. He is undervalued and underappreciated. But I'm doing everything in my power with this movie I'm trying to get together to change that. Because a lot of people, when they saw me and him do that on the podcast, so many people in the comments were like, man, you and Godfrey need to do something together, man. Y'all two, I would love to see y'all two, y'all chemistry, y'all funny. So, we hear a lot of times brothers talk about it, but seldom do they be about it. So I'm trying to be about it and get this movie off the ground, which will showcase me and him doing what we do.
Hey, well, if you need somebody to act like a podcaster doing an interview, you holler at me. I'll be there for free. I'll be there for free. Cool. Well, brother, I appreciate you more than you know. Like I said, I know you're busy. This meant the world to me. This meant the world to my family, my community. Just appreciate you with everything, brother.
Brother, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the love, brother.
You got it. For all the viewers and listeners, remember, your because is your superpower. Go unleash it.